I have these friends, Dan and Sheila. They're podcast hosts.
Welcome to Profiling Criminal Minds. I'm Dan.
And I'm Dr. Redmond.
And we are back to the year of Dexter, as we have watched now the first 3 episodes of Dexter Season 1. The start of the show that, it became a sensation right away. And you know what? I get it. I get why. I completely, it's a good opening.
Look.
It's a really good first episode. It starts with him killing a child murderer and ends with his severed head getting thrown into the front windshield of his vehicle. Yeah, I get why everyone wanted to talk about this show. I'm not going to criticize it. They did a great job.
Yeah. No, and it was the first, it was unpleasant, but the first couple of years were fine.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk about, we'll see if the first couple of years were actually fine. We know it gets real bad real fast. But, after, basically everything after John Lithgow, right, is a complete write-off. I think everyone, even the biggest fans of the show, agree with that. But
yes.
We're interested to see what it was like right from the start.
Yeah, and what's happening is we're going to watch these episodes, because I don't really remember them. I get some
flashes
sort of
here and there.
Here and there. Go, and I know where. Okay, but I had forgotten just how central Deb was right from the beginning. Yeah. That's something I forgot, and so it is. How can now I'm going to do your line? How can I put it? It's it was an interesting watch.
Oh, totally.
I can see how people got hooked on it. I didn't, but I still watched it because you insisted I watch it.
Yep. Well, I knew there was stuff we had to talk about.
Well, no. I'm talking about the first time.
Yeah, and that's what I mean too.
Oh, yeah, you wanted to talk about it.
I didn't have anybody to talk about it. Nobody's watching Dexter that I knew.
Yeah.
So, boom.
So, make me watch Dexter.
I did.
Okay.
You're welcome.
You did. I did. Anyway, and what I said to you, I watched it first before you watched the 3 episodes. And the only thing I said to you was, it makes a difference having that first year.
Yep. It completely changes a lot of stuff.
How you view all of this.
Yep.
Because now you can see how Dexter has rewritten the past.
Yep.
You see, because that first season is supposed to tell us the truth about the past.
Mm-hmm. Here's what was really happening.
Here's what really happened. And this is what a monster his father actually was.
And I do like that there are hints at what a monster Harry was here. Mm-hmm. He is clearly, you're watching it, right? And the whole thing is, anyone watching the show would be like, as you first watch it, why is he not helping his son? Why is he indulging this?
Yes.
And of course, we find out later in this season what the reason is. But to put it all, to put seasons worth of learning about the kind of dark stuff Harry did all into one place in that first season of Dexter Original Sin, it's so useful. Because all of the stuff about Harry's character gets dribbed and drabbed over the entirety of the show. The one thing we didn't get is the psychologist who he hung out with and talked about Dexter, and who encouraged him to make Dexter a test case. Who helped him develop, quote unquote, the code, and essentially said, instead of getting therapy, let's do a test case for how to manipulate a psychopathic child and shape a psychopathic child, and whose son was the anti-Dexter. This is all stuff from the last season of the show. In case people don't know, I'm describing a really preposterous plotline from the last season of the show that was not touched on at all in Dexter Original Sin. Maybe we'll see her show up in season 2. Who can say?
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Because we've got to have some stuff in the second, because it's so then we could see her going, okay, so let's leave Brian where he is and see what happens to Brian, and we'll see what happens to Dexter. And yeah, I mean, it could be possibly interesting, but I was so fed up with Dexter, and I got so angry with the way it just, played with things and didn't really. I think that whoever did Dexter in that last season was thinking maybe about original sin. Okay, let's make this what it was, which was really a test case. If you think about it, what Harry was doing.
Yeah.
In terms of Dexter, like, who knows? I mean, these guys may, and then just waited for the streaming thing. And the fact is that
who knows if that is a conversation they started having then about, well, what if we could do a Dexter like prequel? It is entirely possible that's a thought they were having towards the end of the show. Like, what are they going to do? Maybe Michael C. Hall doesn't want to do it anymore. Maybe the ratings are going down. How can we get the people excited about this? And what they did was Dexter Original Sin, which, very good choice.
Yeah, and I will say that the Dexter, you had a little bit of a problem with the Dexter in Original Sin initially.
Yeah.
I would say he was a better child Dexter than the one that was in the flashbacks in these first
when we
episodes.
See Teen Dexter. Now that said, that Teen Dexter only appears in very limited scenes.
Yeah. So it's okay, but what I just to make a note
I do see your point, and I'm not going to say you're wrong about that.
Yeah. So, it didn't hurt the Dexter itself.
Oh no, not at all.
No, it's not that. It's just, I think the guy captured a little bit more of, but what I can also see is how did that Dexter in year one, Original Sin, turn into this Dexter.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And this Dexter is not, and the one thing that, because you always complain, note he is wearing gloves now whenever he goes into somebody's house.
That made me so happy.
Right?
I mean, so he still picks the lock in the guy's house and opens the door without putting on gloves. But to be fair, the minute he gets inside, he does put on gloves. Made me very happy.
Yes. So that somehow or another, he's learned that in the 15 years.
Presumably he had to destroy fingerprint evidence that he had left at the scene at some point. And he's like,
yes. And then went, oh shit.
I gotta start wearing gloves when I break into people's houses. Will that happen in season 2 of Dexter Original Sin? I genuinely hope so.
Yes. And so, I mean, this is basically a takeaway is that what Dexter is still enamored of Harry.
Oh yeah.
Harry could do no wrong. He still believes that he was born psychotic.
Yep.
He is lacking in massive self-awareness.
Oh, completely.
He is trying to persuade himself that he doesn't care about anything.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't feel anything. But the reality is he does. Now,
Absolutely.
A lot of it can be anger.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of it, but he also, Harry, and clearly Harry did not explain to him the facts of life.
Yeah, not at all.
What? Did Harry think that he was never going to have a sexual relationship with anyone? And I love seeing Darla again.
Oh my God, Julie Benz. Oh, we love you.
It was, it was such a joy seeing Julie Benz.
Yeah.
I had forgotten. I literally had forgotten that she was the
she's Dexter's wife. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know why. I mean, I should have remembered that, but
yeah,
I was, so.
It's always great seeing her. We're never disappointed to see Julie Benz turn up.
Yep. So that's everything is, it was the first 3 episodes. It definitely has changed my take on the show.
Yeah.
And the analysis that if we had been doing a podcast in 2006, I guess it started.
Yeah. 2006 is when it started.
It started the year after Criminal Minds started.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was 2006. Yeah. Because Criminal Minds started in 2005. This starts in 2006.
Yeah. Okay,
and it definitely, my take on this the first time around, because I know how I felt about the show on the first time around.
Yeah.
And it will eventually get to the point where I kind of checked out, even if I did watch the rest of it. I checked out and was fed up.
Yeah.
But it is
it's still promising. It's still promising when you watch these first 3 episodes. You're like, when did we turn on Dexter? Again, I turned on Dexter when he killed Brian and he never got me back. But we'll see how you feel about it, and you feel it's justified.
Oh well, I can tell you deep down inside that I certainly didn't disagree with you.
Yeah.
Now I don't know that I turned entirely, but I may have already been unhappy with Dexter before that. That's not when it is the scene later on, or there's some scene I can still remember that I went ballistic.
Oh, damn. I can't wait till we get there. Whenever it is.
Whenever it is, and we'll find it because I still remember it and I keep thinking it's coming up, but it didn't. The first 3 are they're good. They're setting Deb up as the character, and of course you feel a lot sorrier for her now.
Now that we understand where she came from. Oh my God! I had forgotten what a monster LaGuerta has become.
LaGuerta is just this.
Oh.
Well, Patrick Dempsey was right.
Yeah.
All she wanted, she was a careerist.
She just wanted the power.
She just wanted the power, and she doesn't, for whatever reason, like Deb.
No.
Because Deb is a threat.
The weird thing is, it's possible that Deb is a threat. I think you could be right about that. I will find it very interesting if they reveal in season 2 that she has some kind of a major problem. Like, I think with him covering up Brian's murders, it allows them to set up a situation where she has a real problem with Harry and how Harry does things. And they're going to, like, in retrospect say, oh, she put that suspicion onto Deb, right? So essentially she's going to develop a real distaste for Harry. Season 2 of Dexter's Original Sin. Yeah. I think because of the fact that he destroyed her serial killer case by covering up for Brian's crimes, which is what he did.
Uh-huh.
I think that what they're going to say is this creates an animus between them that she winds up projecting onto Deb when Harry dies.
Yeah,
like
because
she's so pissed at stuff Harry does to her in season 2 that she develops a grudge against Harry that ends up being taken out on Harry's daughter.
Yeah, because Harry, of course, dies.
Exactly. And hey, we get a timeline on that. He dies 1 year later.
Yeah.
After the nurse incident. I had forgotten the nurse was Tasha Yar originally.
Yeah, I know.
It
was nice seeing Tasha again.
Yeah. It's great seeing these people we love. I had forgotten that it was Denise Crosby, so that's really cool. And the thing about it is, we could absolutely see this, like, they have room. Because, again, later they're going to say that Harry finally saw Dexter kill somebody, and he was so distraught by what happened that he stopped, like, taking his heart medications or took an overdose of his heart medication, whatever, and that's why he died, right? They're going to say that his heart didn't just give out, it was suicide. Now, logically, that's what Dexter believes.
Yeah. I'm not buying it
dramatic. Still. It is dramatic malpractice if they don't, in Original Sin Season 2, have it be that Brian killed him. Right? Like,
or precipitated the heart attack.
Or precipitated his death somehow.
He was going to kill him, and then he actually had a heart attack, which is the only reason why Dexter can think.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, no. Like, I'm not saying he stabbed him to death. I'm saying he somehow caused him to have a heart attack. Whether that's poisoning, whether that's making him chase him, who the hell knows? But in some way, Brian has to be responsible for Harry's death.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you can essentially give the character of Harry what Harry deserved.
Yeah, and Brian, of course.
Yeah.
And Brian blames Harry for not being in contact with his brother, and even now won't let him. Yes. Yes, we all know why.
And the thing is, right, what's so frustrating is, like, watching these scenes of young Dexter killing a bunch of animals and fantasizing about killing people, right?
Yeah.
It makes, and Harry coping with it and developing the code and blah, 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 it makes what he did to Brian look worse.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't, as you said, are we at the end of this season even going to say, poor Brian?
No. Are we going to say Brian Moser did nothing wrong?
Yeah.
Is that going to be the official thing? Because as you watch these scenes, you're like, wait, so nothing Brian did was any scarier, really, than anything Dexter did as a child.
Yeah.
Right? Fundamentally, there's nothing he did that's any scary. Yes, he tried to suffocate Deb once. We get it. You know, just watch him a little more closely. But the fact is,
spend time with him instead of babying the baby.
Exactly. He needs attention. He didn't have any before his mother was murdered, and then he went through the trauma of his mother getting murdered. But no, you're not getting him therapy. You're not working. You're just, he's acting out too much. Let's get rid of him. But the minute they saw that Dexter was going to be violently acting out, it didn't say, maybe we should go check on Brian. I've got this system for how to fix kids. Maybe I should go check on Brian.
Yeah.
And he never did, because Brian remembered their mother. And that's what it is.
Oh, that's the reason. Yes.
And he didn't want Dexter to, and he remembers what happened to him and Dexter. And Harry doesn't want Dexter to remember it, so he has to bury Brian.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and it's like, that line at the end of Original Sin that you would have ruined him. Harry, you're the one who ruined. Dexter is ruined. He's a monster, and you're the one who made him that way.
Yeah.
Is Brian so much worse than Dexter? The only difference between Brian and Dexter is that nobody pointed Brian at people to kill.
Yes.
That is the only difference between them as characters. They are exactly the same person, but one of them had a parental influence who aimed him like a gun. And the other one didn't.
Yep.
That's it. And so the other one was compelled to, after settling scores, recreate the death of his mother, the most traumatic event of his life, over and over again.
Yeah.
And the other one got pointed at Harry's enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Because we find out, and this is the key part, we find out that the reason the code happened is because Harry, and this is a mistake by Original Sin, we should have met Davy Sanchez. Davy Sanchez, because we find out in episode 2 that the code happened because Harry's partner, Davy Sanchez, got killed, and they screwed up the search, and the guy was going to get away with murder.
Yeah.
And so he's like, and he started, and then he said, maybe Dexter isn't something I need to control. Maybe Dexter is something I can use.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the death of his partner that made him start thinking that way. So again, everything is selfish and everything is about Harry.
Mm-hmm.
God, he's such a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's amazing what a monster he is. And
it is amazing what they did with it, right? Yeah. I am even more impressed with Original Sin
after
season 1.
Seeing how well it melds with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really does. And again, it's uncanny how much that Molly Brown looks like Jennifer Carpenter. Like it's like she's channeling Jennifer Carpenter. It's crazy how much, because, again, like you say, young Dexter does a better job than teen Dexter did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not like he's channeling Michael C. Hall, and it's not like Christian Slater is making any effort to channel James Remar. But Molly Brown, it's like she's channeling Jennifer Carpenter. It's insane.
Maybe she was a big fan of the show.
Maybe, or maybe she's just an incredible mimic. You know, I'm curious about what she's going to do next, because I'm seeing her do such an amazing job. So yeah, very impressed. All right. So yeah, but you're right. Like, I am glad we're watching them in order. I'm glad we didn't watch Original Sin later. Like, watching them in chronological order, I think is absolutely the right choice to do.
Yep.
Because, oh my God, they put so much thought into crafting Original Sin. And like I said, so far, 3 episodes in, all they missed was establishing Davy Sanchez in the 70s flashbacks.
Yeah. So,
considering how integral that is to why Harry does this evil thing.
Yeah, but maybe they didn't sort of understand, of course, that when they were first writing Dexter, they're basing it to some extent on the book.
Exactly, right.
And the rest of it, so they weren't thinking that part of it through in Dexter. So there are going to be some things as we go through Dexter
that are not like completely consistent. And I see your point. And we'll see how it goes.
And it's okay.
Oh, yeah, of course it's okay. No, absolutely.
Okay. You know,
we don't expect them to have planned for Original Sin the whole time. Of course they didn't. It's not like on it's not like on Breaking Bad, where literally after the first episode that Bob Odenkirk is, everyone's like, yeah, maybe we do a show about him.
Yeah. And how's that all going to work?
You know, how are we going to figure out how to do a show about him? And they started thinking about a Better Call Saul spinoff literally after the first time he was on the show is when work on Better Call Saul started. And they didn't do it seriously and start writing it until, the show was over, but they started thinking about it immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
Because they saw how fantastic that character was. But yeah, I'm sure if the idea of the prequel would not have occurred to them for years and years, if it occurred to them at all during the run of the show. So obviously they weren't like setting stuff up, which just, again, makes it so impressive how elegantly Original Sin folded this all into the continuity.
Yep. I am mightily impressed.
Yeah, this is making us we already really liked Dexter Original Sin. This is making us like it even more. So there you go. Okay, so, all right. And one other thing, I just want to, before we start talking about, the plot of the episode.
Yeah.
I wanted to say how right you were about how clear it is that it's Dexter, is constantly just telling himself he doesn't have emotions.
Yeah.
It's interesting how obviously this man has emotions. And it is essentially, he is just a coping strategy to tell himself he is a pure psychopath.
Because if he ever lets those emotions
he'll lose all control.
When he will, what'll happen though, is that he will start remembering, because what he doesn't, everything that happened to him up to after his mother's death.
Yeah.
Vicious murder that he witnessed, that has all been walled up.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't get cracks. And the cracks, we already saw them occurring every time he saw a child.
In danger, exactly. And we see him freaking out about dead children.
And we also,
in the very first scene of the show.
Yes. And then also with Darla.
Yep.
As I will call her.
It's fine.
But the Julie Benz character and her children, he gets along just fine with her children.
Not only gets along, gets protective.
Yes. Very protective, and actually listens to her rather than threatening the guy who comes and takes her car away.
Yep. Which is
he's going to deal with that guy.
Presumably.
Yes. But he backs off and he listens to her.
Yeah.
Because of the children.
Exactly. Because the kids are there and he doesn't want to make a fuss in front of the kids.
But he will not ask himself why.
Yep. And as you say, you're right. Claiming that he doesn't have emotions is obviously his coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Quite clearly.
Yeah, that, you see, what was I mean, that's the whole thing watching this, right? Is that what was annoying first time around makes sense now that we've had original sin.
Yeah, because the first time I'm like, he so obviously has emotions and an original sin. And I think the show really did have problems, like dealing with whether from writer to writer almost, whether he actually had emotions or not. But he obviously does, you know?
Yep.
And what I love is, right, that when the cop has been murdered, right, and they go to the funeral, and he starts talking about how tough it is to put on a sad face for 2 hours when he doesn't feeling anything. And it's like, yeah, it's not a strange, psychopathic, and unique experience to go to a funeral of somebody you didn't know out of obligation, and it feels awkward because you don't really care that they're dead because you never met them. Like,
yeah, I know.
It's a normal human experience you are feeling, Dexter, but he's couching it as if it's, signs of his psychopathy.
That's right. And he's constantly looking for signs.
Yes. He is filtering everything through this fantasy that he is a machine and a monster. But it is just a fantasy.
Yep.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it is all of a sudden.
This. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it has changed how we
think
view
about the show.
Dexter.
Yeah. Well, in the same way that, watching Better Call Saul, right, made Breaking Bad a better TV show. There's a chance the Dexter Original Sin might make Dexter a better TV show, at least for the first few seasons, because it already kind of is for me.
Well, no, I actually, in air quotes, enjoyed.
Yeah, so much more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
And especially, like you said, I feel so much worse for Deb originally.
Yeah.
Sorry, than I did the first time.
Yeah.
Like, you feel so much worse for her because you understand what she's been through.
Yeah.
And it's like, in this show, casting off that the entirety of the mother being mentioned, right?
Yes.
Is just Doris and Harry, they're dead now.
Yeah.
But they did a good enough job. But when you filter that through the horrible experience Deb had of losing her mother, because Harry was always obsessed with Dexter because of this overwhelming guilt he felt. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This overwhelming guilt he couldn't escape and refused to face. And so he poured all of his effort into Dexter. So all that Deb had was her mother.
Yes.
And then she loses her mother and she has to throw herself into the world of police because otherwise she's completely alone.
Yeah.
Because she misunderstands Harry and Dexter's relationship.
Yes. That's exactly it.
And so, looking at her desperate to, succeed as a cop, it's now, tragic.
Mm-hmm.
There is, a layer of tragedy to everything she's doing that just wasn't there originally.
I know. I know. It changes the whole show and all of these characters.
It just makes it better. Because, again, her being emotionally stunted makes perfect sense. Her obsession with, getting onto homicide like her dad was, makes perfect sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her falling in love with Lundy next year makes perfect. All of it makes so much more sense now.
Yeah.
Oh, I am blown away by how much better the show is if you watch Dexter Original Sin first.
So we'll just have to tell everybody.
Tell everybody, yeah, you know what? It's worth watching Dexter if you watch Dexter Original Sin first. Now, the other thing that made me never forgive the show, and I'll just talk about this now because I want to see how we feel about it, it's weirdly something that Criminal Minds also did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, and you probably see where this is going when I start talking. I'll start talking anyway. Because, maybe not everybody knows where I'm going. One of the things that pissed me most off, and I think it annoyed you too, on the show Criminal Minds, was their refusal to let Dexter Morgan, oh my God. Derek Morgan, oh my God.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Yep.
And they kill off Eric Close's character solely to force Derek to grow up, because he's going to have to adopt this little girl whose cop dad died the same way his cop dad died.
Yeah.
And then they abandon that storyline. And it pissed us off. And we later find out that the reason, behind the scenes at the network, maybe they were going to fire Thomas Gibson and they wanted Derek Morgan to be the main character of the show. And so they didn't know what they wanted to do with him. So they dumped out of that storyline. And that pissed us off because it was such a natural and interesting place for his character story to go. Then they gave that same storyline to Jennifer Love Hewitt, but they never really explored it.
Yeah.
Right. They never really went anywhere with it. And they turned the daughter into just someone who is vulnerable to online grooming and kidnapping.
Yes.
And it was a massive disappointment. And what I'm going to say about Dexter is the reason that, the biggest reason I think I checked out of the show was their refusal to explore Darla's kids, Cody and Aster. And how obviously these two had been raised in a household with a violent monster, like a violent rapist. They were neglected, they were abused, and she's doing her best, but, it's an overwhelming situation. And their dad was an absolute monster. And the natural place for this story to go is to force Dexter to look at what Harry did to him and essentially try to do a better version with these kids after their mother died.
Yes.
Right? And the fact that after she dies, they're just like, well, they're moving in with the grandparents and we're never going to see those kids again. It pissed me off because it felt like the show was refusing to grow up and explore interesting issues. And I wonder if I'm going to feel the same way this time. So I'm calling my shot. The big two questions are, at the end of this season, are we still going to be Brian Moser did nothing wrong? And later when it happens, how am I going to feel about them abandoning what, when I watched it the first time, was by far the most dramatically interesting storyline? Because, by the way, it really pissed me off that they're like, oh, well, they're not really his kids, so who cares? Is how the show treated it, because he was so frigging devoted to Harrison by comparison. Did not mean to rhyme there. It was not my intention, but it did happen. But yeah, although, it suddenly occurred to me, we saw a kid shooting Dexter in the last scene of Dexter New Blood and in the first scene of Original Sin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'm like, is that somehow time jump grown up Harrison? Maybe that's Cody. Maybe Cody came back and shot Dexter. I'd be fine with that.
Wouldn't that be? Yeah,
it would be what he deserved, abandoning those kids.
Yeah, except
their mother died.
Well, particularly if we see season 2 of Original Sin, it may be. It may be that Dexter can't.
Yeah.
Like after watching Original Sin, because I'm going to be watching, because that is a question.
Yeah.
Right. And I agree with you that is another one of those things that
really
teed me off as well.
Yeah.
But and it teed me off too. I mean, come on. Good. You could but
these kids
now
need
that
you,
we
and
actually,
it makes you look like a terrible person.
Yes. But now that we actually know what happened to Dexter, this is part of the defense mechanism. He can't adopt these children. He cannot keep these children, because eventually the walls are going to break down and it'll come through. And because when you are an adult and you have children, your children remind you of things in your own past.
Yeah. And so
it just
consequently,
happens.
No, that makes
or you
sense.
avoid, you behave exactly like your parents. So, I mean, we can talk about abused parents, right?
Yeah.
And some of them, the parents who have been abused, some of them try desperately not to repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Because they understand what happened to them was wrong. And no matter how well-intentioned their parents might have been, it was wrong.
Yeah.
And then other children just, well, I got beaten when I was a kid and
never
didn't do me any
harm.
harm, so I'm going to beat my kid.
Yeah.
Right? And
it's like, again, a statement only ever said by the most screwed up person you know. You know?
Yeah.
Like, a statement that you've never heard come out of the mouths of someone who seems even slightly well-adjusted.
I know. It just is. It's been...
It's bananas.
Don't even.
It absolutely is.
But most people aren't self-reflexive. Yeah, and the problem is that we now know just how horrible, and I don't think we've ever known this, just how horrible the thing is that Dexter has walled up.
Mm-hmm. Like, we knew what happened, but seeing Brian actually taking care of him for that 2 days.
That was the scene
it really puts it into sharp relief.
Because Brian's just going, no, mommy's just asleep right now for 3 days.
For 3 days.
3 days in that.
Yep.
You know,
again, you got 2 arms, Brian. Sorry, you got 2 arms, Harry. You could have picked up both of those kids.
And taken them.
Yeah. But now you abandon him.
And
look at all the trouble it caused.
You know, so it is, you see, that is the problem now. It makes more sense if Dexter lets the grandparents take the children.
Well, no, we're going to talk about that when we get there.
When we get there, okay.
When we get there, we're going to talk about it. We don't have, I'm just calling out something for us to keep our eyes on.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, isn't it more dramatically, like, exciting to have Dexter be forced to look at this stuff in himself through the lens of these children who had similar experience to it? It's like, we're going to be able to say, well...
Yeah, but he doesn't know.
No, I'm talking from a writing standpoint.
Okay, yeah, from a writing standpoint.
From a writing standpoint. I'm talking about the character. Dexter's a shitheel. We know that about Dexter, okay?
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. He's a selfish scumbag because he was raised by a selfish scumbag.
Yeah.
But my point is, wouldn't it be dramatically satisfying for him to face up to what a selfish scumbag Harry was?
Okay, now here...
And the fact that they weren't willing to do that the first time is what pissed me off about the show. It's like, it's like the show. And I mean, again, I may be remembering it wrong. Maybe it's going to turn out it's not as bad as I thought. But the first time through, my thought was, this is like Sons of Anarchy. They are refusing to question the main character or force the main character to, look inwards.
Okay,
That's why Original Sin is so good, because it forces us to look inwards at Harry. And it forces Harry to face up to his sins the way I don't think the show Dexter ever forces Dexter to face up to his sins.
Yeah, well, the thing is, but what I'm saying is after you watch Original Sin, you just go, he has so completely brainwashed Dexter.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
know. I mean, brainwashed, whatever you want to call it.
Well, groomed is the preferred term.
Yes, okay. Groomed Dexter.
Yeah.
And did not ever say, no, you shouldn't do that.
We never tried to get him help.
He never tried to get him help. In fact, the help he did get him was...
Again, a psychologist who wanted to see, hey, can we, come up with a system to manipulate psychopaths without, getting them actual therapy?
Yeah, come on.
Can we find a way to, manipulate and twist psychopaths into whatever shape we want?
But in terms of the writers, I don't think, you see, we can now look at this, and we're going to be seeing this obviously very differently
than the people who originally watched it, and when we watched it
and the people who originally wrote it.
Oh, of course.
I don't
Completely
in the beginning, and it's just that over the course of the show, so from 2006 to 2013, 14, right? There have been leaps and bounds in public consciousness
and
about
understanding about child abuse and how this stuff
its
forms.
Impact, and they had a gold mine ultimately there in that show.
Absolutely.
The man who is, you talk about people not being self-aware. I mean,
know, right?
Dexter is completely surface level. He never,
he's
far,
incapable of looking inwards.
Yeah. He never questions everything that Harry says. And he always goes back to Harry whenever there's something.
Yeah.
And if Harry didn't have an answer, well, Harry always has the wrong answer.
I know, right?
For all of Dexter's, as I said, I mean, come on, Dexter, this is just kind of normal.
Yep.
I mean, Harry did so many wrong things.
Yeah. One of the worst things is him giving him no sexual education whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like none.
I mean, it takes Deb to do it,
I know, right? Oh my God, Dexter. Okay, so now we have just spent 40 minutes talking about the meaning of this show and us being impressed with how it looks now. We should probably actually talk about the plot of these episodes.
Yeah, well, we can do it fast.
We can get through the plots pretty quickly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most people will have watched Dexter, and if you haven't watched Dexter, go back and watch Original Sin first.
Yeah, there's a really good chance. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you're just joining us now, go back and watch Original Sin. It's so worth it.
Yeah, it just puts everything into focus. And it has turned us into people who are actually pleasantly surprised about the first 3
Dexter
episodes.
Fans now? Like, did that happen?
Well, just wait.
Wait, right?
We've got 6 and 3/4 years left.
For it to disappoint us. You're right.
Yes.
And I'm sure it will. Like 100%. Yes. There's some stuff that I was definitely not a fan of. And I do remember the show as being, really determined to always let Dexter off the hook and never have him, face anything. And again, that's why I liked Original Sin so much, is Harry is being forced to face stuff.
Well, you know what? No, I think that's like, we don't know because we haven't seen New Blood and we're not watching Resurrection. I mean, it comes up and I don't even read any of the comments.
Do you know how hard it is to avoid videos about Resurrection on YouTube? I have to quickly scroll to avoid any information about the show. People are airing clips. That's how I found out Angel's on it, at least for one episode. Just a thumbnail, Ugh. I gotta be more careful.
You got to be more careful because I'm not. I say, new episode of Resurrection. Nope. Doesn't matter.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Don't want to know. And I'm not. Well, the stuff I'm spending time on YouTube with doesn't pop
far
up
enough. Yeah, that they're not going to give you those, which is good.
Yeah. They don't give me those because I'm not watching any of the new stuff on Amazon, like all of the bots that are following what I do and what I watch.
They're giving you lots of retro TV videos. And that's a good way to look at it. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I'll keep doing that because I don't want to know. It will be interesting though. I mean, hypothesizing that when they started this all up, and I don't know, because they did Original Sin.
Yeah.
And I think they did New Blood, then Original Sin, then Resurrection.
Yep.
Yeah. And so what happens, right, is that I think to some extent that you have the writers or the creators originally rethinking so much, and possibly we may come to that conclusion that that last season, which was so bad, and I don't know when they're going to do it.
If it's not the same writers, it could literally be people who, like us, were so offended
by all of that.
By the last season, they're like, what if we fixed Dexter? And the answer is, if that's what happened, you succeeded with Original Sin. Because the thing is, you look at Criminal Minds. Criminal Minds is so unique because it's the only show where it's it does a quote unquote reboot or comes back, where it's mostly the original staff bringing it back. The same 3 major creative forces in the writing are all back.
Yes.
Right? The same 3 people. So it's just the same people saying, we can do the show we always should have been doing, that we never had the freedom to do because we were on a network. Whereas Dexter was always cable. Right? Mm-hmm. So Dexter always could have been good. It just wasn't. So I'm very interested to see how this plays. And again,
yes,
the more we watch Dexter and the more it touches on stuff from Origin, the more I think we're going to be impressed by what they accomplished with Original Sin.
Yeah, and so let's just run through the murders.
Yeah, let's run through the murders and the plot this week. Okay, so murder 1, Mike Donovan. He is a guy who loves murdering children, and we have no larger context. We know he is a quote-unquote pillar of the community because he's super waspy. But he goes off after this, even though he's there with his wife at this child's choral thing that they're doing for, I don't know, celebration fundraiser. He certainly gets off in a car on his own to go do something sinister. So good call in killing him, Dexter. But you had previously followed him to his dump site that he presumably owns or has access to and found 3 children's bodies there. So I think we have to call this, he could have phoned the cops and just be like, hey, I was poaching gators out in the woods and saw this guy burying a body out there. You should really go look at it. And then when the cops go, they would have found 3 dead children on his property. He would have been in jail pretty fast. Is that fair to say? We can call this a Dexter could have called the cops? Yeah,
Dexter could have called the cops. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. The second one is Jamie Jaworski. This is a classic Dexter case where the guy obviously murdered a woman and there was plenty of proof, but, you know, bad search warrant, he got off, and now he's free to kill again. So this is like the classic, it's fine that Dexter killed this guy, right?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, we'll sign off on that one.
Yeah, I'll sign off on that one. It would have been hard for the cops to get him.
Yeah, because he had already been, because we don't know that he killed anyone else. We know that he's a serial rapist, and it would have been nice if they could have put him in jail for that, but we don't actually know that he killed anybody else. So Dexter has to get revenge for the person he did kill and wasn't going to get punished for. Because there's no double jeopardy applies. He could never be tried again for the murder we know he did. Right? Yeah. Okay, so we're all good with that. And, presaging the collapse of the American housing market, the dude spends his nights stealing copper pipe tubing from construction sites. Thought that was nice. Little forward-thinking work there, Dexter writers. Okay. Oh, and my other note in I'm keeping notes about the various killers, of course. And it's weird how many of my notes are, oh my God, Harry is a monster. It comes up a lot, like a surprisingly large amount. But anyway, Margot Martindale played Camilla. I totally forgot that. His friend in the records department.
Yeah, okay.
I forgot it was Margot Martindale originally. Yeah, because she's there in Original Sin, and they cast the perfect actress for young Margot Martindale, but I'd completely forgotten it was her. I love seeing character actress Margot Martindale. Who, you know, he bought the boat from. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. And do they reveal later that she knows he's killing people? Because she does that, you know, really significant look after handing over the file, right?
Yeah.
The file from the records, because he says he likes looking into old cases when there's not enough time.
Yeah.
You know, when there's not enough work. She gives him a very significant look. And I'm like, did they reveal that she knew the whole time what Harry was training him to do? Or at least part of the time.
I wonder.
Don't remember.
Well, we'll find out because I don't. Well, if they do, we have
forgotten, so we will find out. And if not, well, it'll be one of those theories we can have for ourselves, right?
No, okay.
It'll be headcanon, as they call it. All right. In the second episode, we get the most. I mean, we're 2 episodes in, and we already have an absolutely preposterous murderer. Which is a guy who serially drunk drives and runs people over. Like, oh, so every time he runs someone over, he moves to a different city and changes his name so he can get away with running people over again. I don't know that would work. Like, how does he still have a driver's license?
Well, he just gets a new driver's license with his new name.
Yeah, but don't you need like a social security number to get a driver's license?
No.
And when you I think you do, because they don't change your social security number when they change your name.
Well, no, I can't imagine that you would need. What do you need to get a driver's license? You need what? You don't even saying, need.
Like, I feel like you must need a social security number.
No,
really?
No. I'm trying to think. No, you go and do a test and you get your driver's license.
Yeah, but like what? But you need ID to prove who you are, is my point. And driver's license is the key ID everyone uses to prove who they are. So how do you get a driver's license if you can't prove who you are?
Well, I'm not sure that you have to. Like, you need a driver's license to prove who. It's the best proof that you can have of who you are. But I don't think you need to prove who you are to get a driver's license.
Well, but then what purpose would be the proof in a driver's license if you don't?
Yeah, well,
this is very circular. You know what? This is something we can find out.
Yes.
You know? I'm
trying to think. Yeah. No, I mean, maybe you have to have an address.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have an address. So you have an address and that's it.
I don't know.
You own a car.
I suspect, I mean, I could be wrong. I suspect it's harder to get a driver's license than it is a library card. But you know what? If I'm wrong, we'll find out and we'll get an answer on this. I just think he has a very, very preposterous MO. That he is so frequently killing people or massively injuring people in drunk driving accidents.
Yeah.
Just so frequently that he just constantly has to flit around the country. And it's like, at some point, don't you have to say, wait, am I the problem here? I seem to be running over a lot of people.
Well, he's a sociopath.
Yeah, and he's not rich enough to get away with it.
And he doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care fundamentally.
No, fundamentally, this guy doesn't care. He's out drinking as soon as, he can tell the sob story and get away with it. So,
well, the one thing that, they say that there's only a 20% solve rate in Miami Metro. Maybe it's because their DAs are bad, partially. Because, wait a minute, we don't get any statement about the fact that, did he actually report his car stolen? Because he says that when he killed this kid, somebody else killed the kid because his car was stolen and was joyriders.
Yeah.
Right? But did he actually report his car stolen before he went out and got drunk?
Well, I don't think that we care.
I mean, you're right. I mean, it's not important for the show, but it's like, you feel like if he didn't actually do that, it wouldn't be hard to prove that he didn't. But if he did do it, it raises a really important question of, I'm so confused. Does this man, before he goes out drinking and driving, just de rigueur phone the cops every time and report his car stolen?
Potentially.
It's such a funny idea. It's like, well, I'm going to be out drinking tonight and who knows what'll happen. Snaps his fingers. I got to remember to report my car stolen in case I get into an accident. But the accident isn't so bad that I can't run away and pretend that, I wasn't there. Because if he's in a bad accident, he'll be injured and still in the car. So he's like planning to be in an accident that's bad enough that he'll need to have an alibi for it, but not so bad that he can't flee the scene.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I found it slightly preposterous, and I don't think I'm wrong to have found it slightly preposterous.
No, but it's the least preposterous thing about
okay,
Dexter,
all right. You got me.
It's like, in terms of, obviously the cops didn't catch him because they haven't caught him in all of these different cities.
Well, no, they did catch him in every city. That's
and
the weird part.
And he keeps getting off.
And he keeps just getting off. Like, they catch him every time. He's not good at getting away with crimes. This is just the first time it's like been a big deal because it's the first time, as we think, that he's actually killed somebody. But as Dexter, all he has to do is just run his fingerprint, right? Yeah. And find out that he was responsible for all these other hit and runs in all these other states. Which, by the way, this is why they have such bad cops and DAs. Did they not run his fingerprints nationally?
Obviously
when they were doing this, like he did a hit and run, and they arrested him. They took his fingerprints. They didn't run it outside the state. These guys are like really bad at their job.
Yes, well, we watched Miami Vice.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Right.
Come on.
Then maybe there's some history of Miami not having great police. I'm not gonna. You're right.
After all, look at the problem CSI Miami had with.
They did have
with
a lot
cops.
of issues. Although it would be hilarious to imagine. I mean, now I want that crossover. And it's just Dexter meeting Horatio Caine. I think I would be very happy with that crossover. Now that I think about it. Oh God, that would be wonderful. All right.
Okay.
Third episode is the interesting one because we get Ricky, the first person Dexter doesn't kill. The kid who stabbed a guy but only went to juvie, and he was out in 4 years. And Dexter thinks he's going to kill again, but then Dexter gives him a pass because he decides that this is a victim, not a villain.
Yeah, and I thought that was really interesting because when he told him what he did, but then Dexter warned him.
Yeah.
But this other guy, because he knows that the kid has
this rage in him.
This rage in him, and he needs to go take care of it. He said, but you can't. I said, that other kid, because Dexter basically tells him, I knew you were going to stab that guy too. Mm-hmm. And that guy didn't do anything.
Exactly.
And that
you're just finding a proxy to take your anger out on.
Yes. And
you were horrifically raped and you're full of anger and you need to get that anger out some way. And so you're just looking for a proxy because the guy you're actually mad at is already dead.
Yes. And so you need to, I mean, Dexter doesn't explicitly explain all of this the way we are, but
of course.
Basically this is what Dexter is telling him. And it goes to this idea of Dexter's code.
Yeah.
That, I mean, he would never say that to this kid, but he does warn him, you just can't kill someone who wasn't responsible for it. Mm-hmm. Who didn't do anything wrong to you. And this was just his friend.
Yeah.
And I thought the funniest thing about that was the fact that he took his friend in for, to see this alligator, right? Yeah. And then doesn't see a gator. And then, of course, Dexter runs into the gator.
Immediately gets attacked by the gator. That was very cute.
It was cute. I thought it was very cute.
I like that a lot.
There was a gator there. And then he, tracks him down and thinks he's a potential. And then he realizes, no. And so this again just tells you that Dexter, there are two things going on here. One, the kid is in his teens still.
Yeah.
And the other is that Dexter is strictly adhering to the code, not just for himself, but for somebody else. So the other guy, the first person he killed, he was justified in doing it. Mm-hmm. As in Dexter's code. The second guy, no. And because Dexter interfered.
Yeah.
And then the guy stole his wallet.
I know.
So he has to go after him, which was sort of a good thing. So he's actually, you're going, okay. So the rules are sticking for Dexter at this point. It's clear.
Oh, yeah. And they are
applying them to other people as he would see it, sort of like himself.
Well, it's interesting how you could imagine the rules, because what we were talking about is how is he Dexter processing his own trauma. And it's like he sees himself in this kid.
Yep.
But he has to pretend he doesn't have empathy.
Yep.
So instead, he fobs it off on, well, the rules say I don't get to kill him.
Yeah.
But really what's happening is he has empathy for an abused child.
Yeah.
That might turn into a monster because he knows that's what happened to him on some level. But he hides his empathy under this justification of the Code of Harry.
Yep.
Even though that's not actually what's going on. It's really interesting.
Yep. Yeah, as I said, this show has all of a sudden become interesting.
So much more interesting, right? When you know
weird.
This background stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the part of him lying to himself, I would argue, was always there, right? But it's just like...
But he has to lie to himself.
Yes, but the fact that subtext in the original show has been turned into text by Original Sin is what makes Original Sin so interesting.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. There's no question.
So
really, therefore, the name of the game has the game has changed when we're watching Dexter now.
Exactly. All right. So Dokes, who I love, still love Dokes, still a big fan of Dokes. He was sleeping with another cop's wife. That cop was undercover. The cop gets murdered by the cartel. The wife gets murdered by the cartel. He wants to settle things and deal with the cartel. I completely understand where Dokes is coming from. Team Dokes all the way. Scott Winters, unfortunately, does not agree Team Dokes all the way. And doesn't like that this guy was sleeping with his sister, who was married to a cop.
Yeah.
And wants to get Dokes killed by the cartel.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Dokes. Oh.
Well, yes, but he's I know one of your favorite, but he is such a complete jerk.
He is. He really is. But it's just, if I got to pick between Dokes and Dexter, I'm picking Dokes every day of the week. I still like him. Still really like this man. And I can't wait to see where his stories go. Because I don't remember where his stories go. I just remember really liking him. Mostly because he did not like Dexter, who I also did not like.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah. And we probably, nobody's saying that we will like Dexter.
But we're definitely more interested in Dexter.
Yes.
Than we ever have been in the past.
And and to some extent, you can feel more sympathy for him simply because you know what his dad
put him through and
how
he manipulated him.
Yeah.
So we've already talked about LaGuerta.
Yeah.
We've already talked about Deb and how much more of a tragic figure she is if you know her background.
Yeah.
I was a little pissed at Dexter for calling Deb his foster sister. Bitch,
Why?
You were adopted.
You are
a Morgan.
Now just remember, that part of it, they didn't think there was going to be a Dexter original sin.
I know, but he was canonically adopted.
Yes, and I know, and I don't know why the writers would have decided that was how he referred to.
But that's just objectively incorrect.
Yes.
Harry adopted you. You are a Morgan. You lived in that house, other than 6 weeks, for every minute of Deb's life.
Yes.
Do not say foster sister. Jesus Christ, Dexter.
Yes.
It really bothered me.
Yeah, well, I'm blaming the writers for that.
Yeah, that's just a bad move by the writers. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Okay. Is that all the characters we already talked about LaGuerta. Okay, now, what's Brian up to? Well, he's out there chopping up sex workers.
Yeah, well, and he's out there chopping up sex workers because of this compulsion. I mean, now that's so interesting, right? Because it doesn't hurt the show that we know why he's painting the fingernails.
No.
It's so funny because in the first one, of course, it's a big mystery.
Yeah.
Now, but having watched Original Sin, we know exactly why.
Because in the original show, they essentially have met a woman who's an amputee who painted the nail with the nail painting, and he became obsessed with and fixated. But now they've given us a reason for why that triggered him and why he got fixated.
Yeah,
which is smart. I mean, very smart.
It just changes so much.
So much about our beloved Brian Moser.
Yeah, and you just because that is if you wanted to say that is your code to tell you that it is a massive compulsion.
Yeah.
Right? And
that he is reliving this horrible 3 days of his life over and over again in his head.
And he can't get rid of it.
Yeah, he can't escape it. And the only thing he can think is, if I could just be back with my brother, this would be bearable. Yeah. And so now that he knows, Dexter is working forensics in the city, he's like, okay, what I'll do is I will performatively, because remember, he started killing outside of the city to get ready for this. But he has moved to Miami in the hopes of getting Dexter's attention.
Yes.
And I don't remember if he knows that Dexter is killing people. I don't remember if he knows how much he is stalking Dexter. Right? So, like, does he know Dexter is killing people? I'll be interested to find out as we get to the end of the season. I do remember, like, the minute a character showed up on screen, like the minute Brian showed up on screen the first time I watched it, I'm like, well, there's the ice truck killer.
Yeah.
Like, you know right away. It's so obvious who the killer is. And here, of course, we know even better because we literally already know who the ice truck killer is.
Yeah.
But the thing I don't remember is how much did he know about Dexter and Harry?
Well, we'll find out. That's why we're rewatching it.
Exactly, right? And if he knew, are they going to reveal in Original Sin Season 2 that, like, he found out about Dexter's serial killing, like, 12 years ago?
You never know.
That could be really interesting. I'd be very intrigued to find that out. But anyway, like, this is the stuff we're very excited to discover. So yeah, Brian, he's out there killing. He frames a guy for his murders, right? He frames a guy for his murders, which, like, is an odd thing to do unless you're planning to not do any more murders. Because he gets the security guard, and he makes the security guard plant the bodies, and he puts the body parts, and he puts evidence in the security guard's house.
Yeah.
And then he kills the security guard and makes the security guard disappear. But it's like, if you're going to keep killing people a bunch, I guess he'll keep blaming it on the missing security guard. But, like, he's a guy without resources, so that's not going to be the most believable thing, you know?
Yeah. I do know, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do with all of this.
Oh, totally.
Like, in terms of, like how it's not what they're going to do. They've already done what they did.
Yes,
for us, it's sort of a question of how does this change how we perceive the show?
Based on Original Sin, yeah. Like,
based on the fact
how do the events of Original Sin change our take on essentially Brian's Brian's journey?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very interested to see how it plays out. Oh, and what was the other thing? Oh yeah. One super minor detail, just wanted to mention. Harry, we are told, only canonically shot a guy once, and it happened in the past. So I don't know if Dexter Original Sin is going to go back to the 70s again to give us a chance to find out about the only person Harry ever killed. But I'd be interested to see if it goes there. Like, I'm interested in watching these Harry scenes so we can see if, like, fertile ground for what they might do with Original Sin Season 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because now we've got a key piece of Harry's backstory. We've got two key pieces of Harry's backstory that we don't have any background on. And my question is, like, who is the one person he ever shot? Right? And my question is, that statement about Harry having only ever shot and killed one person and he didn't like the feel of it, right, comes an episode after we find out that Harry, that Harry's partner got killed and the criminal's going to get away with it. So what I'm asking is, and maybe this comes up this season, I've completely forgotten. Did Harry murder the guy who killed Davy Sanchez and he feels guilty about it and doesn't feel the peace he thought he would afterwards? Like, when Harry says, I killed one guy, I shot a couple of people, but I only ever killed one person. Is that a thing that just happened a week ago when he murdered the guy who killed Davy Sanchez?
We'll find out.
I know. I'm just saying, like, there might be something there.
No, this is going to make our year of Dexter so much more interesting.
Yeah. All of these little mysteries that some of which I'm sure there will be answers on the show that we've forgotten.
Yeah.
And some of which they have opportunities to explore. I have no memory of Harry murdering a cop killer, right? That doesn't exist in my head. If it happens on the show, I have no memory of it. But when you put my partner got killed and the guy got away with it, and now I'm going to turn my son into a weapon, and then the very next episode, have him talk about how he killed only one person once and he didn't like the feel of it, I feel like there's probably a connection there. But yeah.
Well, it strikes me that there is. There has to be that, and so then Harry gets, ultimately, because we've already said this, he's getting Dexter to do his killing for him.
Yeah. But I mean, I did not remember how it was tied directly to his partner got killed. If only there was someone to kill these bad people.
Yeah.
Dexter.
Yeah.
How obviously it's a selfish act. So yeah, like our position on the show was always that Harry was the real villain of the show. And yeah, I think there was good evidence to have that position just based on the 3 episodes we watched.
We've watched so far. Yeah.
Like we've only watched 3 episodes and yeah, Harry's the bad guy here.
It is truly amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing how clear it was, and again, how much the show Original Sin just embraced Harry being the villain.
Yep.
So yeah, we're real excited. We're going to be back here more, and the official ruling was Mike Donovan, he probably could have turned into the cops, probably should have. Jamie Jaworski, he had to kill. Matt, the serial drunk driver, probably had to kill that guy too.
Yeah, because he was just going to keep doing it.
He full on says, I'm going to keep doing this.
Yes, and he's not in the jurisdiction anymore.
Exactly. Like he's going to leave jurisdiction. So Dexter has to do it right away before he has a chance to. Yeah. And of course, Ricky, he lets get away because he feels empathy for him and he pretends that it's about the code. So there you go. So those are our official rulings for the 4 people who get looked at hard by Dexter in season 1.
Yeah.
Also, just a note, the guy who killed Dokes' girlfriend in The Undercover Cop gets stabbed to death in prison on orders of the cartel. And the cop who does it doesn't bother wearing gloves when he's stabbing a guy. The correctional officer who does it. Like, come on, why is nobody wearing gloves when they commit all these crimes?
Well, let me put it this way. Obviously, nobody cares when the bad guys get killed.
That's true. All right. Oh, and
in Miami, anyway.
That's true. One category we have to add. I don't think it's going to come up for a while.
Yeah.
But there is a 4th category of Dexter's victims, and that is people who are innocent that Dexter kills. People who are completely innocent that Dexter kills to cover for himself.
Okay.
And maybe that's just RoboCop, but he definitely does that with RoboCop. A man who is completely innocent, who Dexter kills to cover for his own crimes. So there you go. It at least happens once. So there is a 4th category we're going to have to think about. Yeah, just to keep that in mind. I don't know if it happens a bunch. It probably doesn't. I don't remember what happened with, I'm blanking on his name. The Punisher, Ray Stevenson. When Raven Stevenson shows up as a Russian mobster, I have no memory of how that plot line ends. But 100%, he definitely at least killed one person just to cover up his own crime. So there you go. All right.
Yes.
I think that's that. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if there's any thoughts on Dexter's Code you'd like to share with us, drop us a line at profilingcriminalminds@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. If you're listening on an app, podcatcher, or watching on YouTube, hi, thanks, rate, review, and subscribe. That's how people find out about the show. We're going to see you here next week for Dexter episodes 4 through 6 in the first season. Is this where Brian first shows up? I certainly hope so, because I've been missing Brian. We'll see. We got so much Brian at the end of season 1 of Original Sin. I want more Brian. We'll see you back here for that. But until then, I'll say that's right. Au revoir.
And have a good week.